Today is Juneteenth. It's a national holiday celebrating the end of slavery, and it's a good or appropriate day for me to share a thought with all of my fellow Black Americans, and it's also a thought for white Americans and for every other ethnic group in America. But especially I want to share this with Black Americans, and I know it's going to piss people off. If anyone actually watches this video and hears what I'm about to say, it's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to trigger people. It's going to trigger pain that's already there. It's not going to add pain. It's going to poke at pain that's already there. I think that's actually important because if we don't look at that pain and deal with it, then we'll never heal it. We'll never move past it. It will always be an obstacle in front of our life path instead of being something in the past that we've moved beyond. And my message is really simple, and it's this. The biggest lie Black America has ever been told, and the biggest lie white America has ever been told, is that there's such a thing as your people and my people. That those two things are separate. Your people and my people. White people and Black people. That's the heart of racism. That is the core of racism, is this belief that we're not each other's people, that we're not family, that we're not the same species. That belief in my people and your people is bullshit. And sometimes bullshit has power because we believe in it. And we've been told it over and over and over. And there's millions of people who believe it. So bullshit can take on power that has real effects in our life. And so I'm not denying that the history of racism in America hasn't had real world level impacts and psychological impacts, external life impacts and internal life impacts. It has. But that doesn't make it true. Because it's had real impacts doesn't mean that it's actually a valid philosophy. And if we're ever going to move past racism, we've got to go beyond that belief. We've got to look at that belief square in the eyes and see if it's true. And I've done that, and it's not true. The idea that we are separate people, separate organisms, not inherently and eternally connected to each other, like brothers and sisters, that belief was manufactured by white slave owners back in the day because they wanted to divide us from each other. It was divide and conquer according to race because they wanted to keep slavery, and no total group of people, whether we're talking about states or a country, was really okay with that. Even in the Old South, racism was a constant source of tension and conflict and disagreement. The Old South, wasn't a unified group of white racist people who thought slavery was awesome. No, it was always a hotly charged, conflicted institution. That's why you had the Underground Railroad, where white people in the Old South were risking their lives to save Black people and help them escape. That's why you had white preachers and ministers in the Old South who would preach against it and sometimes get crosses burned in their yard and sometimes get lynched just like Black people were getting lynched. The understanding that we are not separate, that we are each other's people, never really went away, even in the Old South. It went away for some people. It's still away for some people, but it never went away for all people. And that's because it is an inherent, underlying core truth that our heart understands and our being understands. Our minds can get confused about this, and we can get divided and filled with hate and blame, but our heart never gets confused. It just gets covered over by confusion. So on this Juneteenth, I want to remind you all, I want to speak to all of your hearts, the part of you that's not confused about race. And I want to remind you that we are family. We always have been. We always will be. It's just a matter of, can we move through the confusion, and can we move through the pain that's been stacking up for centuries now, so that we can recognize in each other's faces that we are family. We will never be at peace until we do that.